Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a map called Car Jump Arena. And once the map is loaded up, we start right here in a little building. And there's nothing about the building that looks too fancy, but it does have a decent amount of details to it. And then we could go ahead and get going. There's a red light. I don't care. Green. I made it just in time, and I saw like little fireworks on the side. I don't know if I've ever seen those on any other map before. That's pretty interesting. And it looks like there might be more right there. So you get like real dramatic jumps, like, you know, you're flying your truck off and you got fireworks too. Super crazy dramatic jumps. And then anyways, let's see this thing fly and crash. We'll do this one at full speed. And then we're gonna slam on these brakes. We gotta come to a stop, but we don't want to do it like that because that's how you roll. I didn't have much control over the vehicle. I was just trying to stop it. Thankfully, it landed upright though, so we can keep driving down here and see if there's anything over around here. You got a puddle of water down there, so if you keep going, you'll eventually hit that. What if you keep driving along this road past the jump? Where does this go? So you got a little house down there. Oh, is that a stop sign? Well, I am a very respectable driver who follows the rules. We're going to stop, and then we're going to go. And that's like the only time I've ever done that in a video for this game, ever. Seriously, I don't think I've ever done that before. And then there's a tunnel over here. We're going to see where this tunnel leads. At first, I almost thought that was like a tunnel like it was just drawn on. And you'd go into it and you'd just crash into it. But that's a legit tunnel. The truck's a little bit too damaged to go too fast through here. I don't know how long it is. I almost want to swap it, but I'm afraid it might not be long enough to be worth it. Or it might just be ridiculously long and I should have swapped it a long time ago because I don't see an end in sight. Well, I might see an end in sight. We're going to keep using this truck. This truck will make it to the end unless I make a really big mistake and slam it into something by being lazy and careless. Or I just feel like slamming it into something because I want something faster, which is going to happen really shortly. I swear it looks like the exit is getting closer and closer to the point where it's going to be here in about 30 seconds. If that. Way less than 30 seconds. My sense of time is all screwed up. That was like 7 seconds. Like, it didn't seem like it was getting closer, and then all of a sudden, it's getting closer. So that just kind of drops you off the edge, so we can go way back up here to the start. And we'll grab a different vehicle. We'll go with a ETK K-Series. We'll get a nice one, the KC6TX, which is usually the go-to one just because it's a stock vehicle, and it's reasonably fast. For color, I'm going to go not pearl white. I was thinking about pearl white, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go burgundy. Because burgundy is always the best color. Because that was the first color I ever saw when I saw something for this game. Burgundy is a special place in my heart. Now, how fast should we do this jump? I think we should slow it down a bit. Like, probably 120 to 110 to get like a smooth landing. That's pretty good. So like right about, yeah, 110 to 120. It depends on the car probably. But that was a real nice smooth landing, and we can come to a stop super easy there. We did get a little bit of radiator damage, but for doing a big old jump like that, that is all part of the process. Now we can go ahead and wreck up my front end just a little bit, unfortunately, but what I was going to do is continue along this road and see what was along some of the other roads there, because that was just one direction. We might have something else to the left. It's not a tunnel, so it is something different, and this car is not driving right because the front bumper, there we go, it was stuck on my wheel, but it just shot out from under it. So now we're good to go, except for the fact that we now have a front left tire that is deflated. So right here, this kind of just goes into nothingness. I was going to drive up it, but you know what? I need a car with more ground clearance to try that, so I'll do that later. Instead, we're just going to go along this road and see where this thing goes. So it goes behind the stadium where everybody was watching me fly. A little ticket booth. Oh, we could go into here. Ooh! Climb! That doesn't seem like something you could drive up, period. But we could, you know, fly the camera through it and see where it goes. And look at those fancy looking bathrooms. Not even a normal sign has a fancy one. It just goes up to there. Okay. And then is there anything different on this side? It looks all pretty consistent. But there's a road that goes over there, so we can go and bring this car back a little bit and continue along there. And then somehow we're going to have to get back up to the top. I don't know if there's a road that goes back up to the top or if I'm going to have to do something a little bit wacky, and that was a bit of a pain right there, having my tires pop. Actually, that was not even just a pain. That destroyed my car. It wasn't driving at all after that. So I'm going to just bring it back to the road. And now that I know that that is not a smooth transition, I will respect the edge. Because before, I had no respect for that. I'm like, you know, I'm going to drive all over this thing. And then it shredded my tires. And I'm like, you know, I'm sorry. I have full respect for this thing. So you got another stairway right there. Yeah, you can go up the stairs with your car. That's going to work. I wonder if we had an off-roader, if we could. I'll come back to that a little bit later and try it with an off-roader. But right now, I'm still seeing where this road goes. It looks like it might just loop around back to where we were a second ago. Let me just make sure of that. Yes, it does. So now we got to make a U-turn in this tight spot. And that's how you do it. Just whip the e-brake around. You get this perfect maneuver. Couldn't have been better. You know what? Let's crash into the stairs and then swap it for a new vehicle. Ooh, it actually, what? That I did not see coming. I thought we were just going to crash. I did not line myself up with the plans for it to actually make it up the stairs. Are these stairs like faked? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you know what it is? It's an old video game trick where it may look like stairs, but it's actually a slope. And you used to do this on even FPS games where you had a character that would run just because going up the stairs would be so jittery sometimes. You would do it where it was a slope, so you'd go up the stairs a little bit smoother. Alright, that's cool. I really, really like that. And kind of interestingly, I think this is the first time I've seen this style of stair implemented in BeamNG.drive. Now, you saw a second ago, it looked like I went through this thing. And yeah, I guess you can. Is it the whole thing? Yeah, I was wondering if maybe you could just go through the glass, but that whole thing you could drive right through, so you gotta be real careful about that. That's awesome that you can actually climb the stairs, so you can get back to the top and do another jump. If you don't accidentally fall out like I almost just did right there. And we don't even need that powerful of a car in terms of capabilities. I mean, yeah, this is a powerful car, but it's not like an off-road vehicle where it's made for something like this. Okay, if we have no momentum, though, that's going to be painful. We need a little bit of momentum going into it. Not even that much, just like that. We could probably make it with just that. It is a little slow doing that, of course, because, well, it is still pretty steep, but we're going. We're making progress. Of course, this is like the longest step there was, and this is the slowest I've gone in any of the steps. Always the way things go. Now, how do we get the rest of the way up? Is there a rest of the way up? We're going to find out. So we can just hop off those stairs and see what's over here. There's not a good transition onto that road. Ouch. There goes a whole tire right off of my car. Let's go ahead and grab something that can do a little bit of off-roading because I see some bumps and stuff. I'm like, you know what? Makes it easier on myself if I just have something that can go over those bumps. So we're going to grab a T-Rex version of the Roamer. And we could explore in here. So, like, if I wanted to go up that, I could now. The other one, it would bottom out, and I would ruin my bumper, and I'd just be disappointed. The T-Rex don't care, although it would care about that lip. That one was pretty big. Can we go through that, or is that a solid object? Oh, I was hoping it would be like the little area next to the stairs where you could just drive right through it. Nope, that one is a solid object. Back it up and spin it around, and we'll go this way, which leads to basically nothing. I see a little thing over here we could go check out. I don't know if that's symmetrical or not. I didn't see another stairway, so I don't believe it's symmetrical, but I don't know for certain. Oh, there goes my tires. And those are real stairs. That's what happens when you try to drive up the real stairs. You break your car. So I'm just going to zoom out with the camera there, and that is just a big old platform that kind of overhangs the place. It looks like we could fly through it, though, because it has that same blockade we saw earlier on the stairs. So let's see if that works or not. Might be a little bit different, actually. I don't know. We'll see in 3, 2, 1. That you can sort of fly through? That was interesting. Okay. Right. Anyways, let's bring this car all the way up to the jump and do that a few more times. Ooh, look at that! There's an airplane, and wait, it actually moves, and it leaves a stream behind it. Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's just like a 2D plane, so it's not like, you know, you could do anything with it. But from afar, it looks really cool just seeing an airplane there. Anyways, all the way over to here, and something is wrong with my car. It's just breaking apart. I think it somehow fell a little bit more off that cliff. We'll just get a new one right here, and we've got to do a little bit of tight maneuvering. I'm just bouncing off everything without a care in the world. Uh-oh. I should have cared a little bit, because I think I'm not stuck. I am not stuck. And what's that say right there? Warning, it is not recommended to jump off at more than 200 kilometers per hour. Well, I use miles per hour, so I have no idea what speed that actually is. Actually, it's just about 120. Because it's 60 to 100 is the easy rough calculation. So, you know, you just do 60 times 2. That's 120. Because there's two 100s. And I actually figured out that that was about the speed you wanted anyways. But it sounds like you could even go slower. Maybe we'll try that in a second. But right here, we're going to do that 115 zone again. And that was a thing of beauty. That was so smooth. Like, I don't think I have a lick of damage on this thing. I do have a little bit of brake fade, though, trying to slow down for such a high speed. So if we still have momentum and we were slowing down, how does the water do to try to stop us? Oh, yeah, the water does a pretty good job of stopping you. Better than the sand, except you have the side effect of, well, my engine don't work no more. Now, let's try something much, much heavier. We're going to grab a T-Series, and we're going to get the T75 Cargo Box version, because this one's pretty heavy. Not quite as heavy as the cement mixer one, though, but heavy enough where it should be a pretty different kind of experience going down this hill. We're going to slow down just a little bit here because I don't want to get lifted into the air, and then we're going to floor it, and we'll see how fast this thing goes. I'm hoping it'll reach about 110 at the end of the jump, so it could actually have a pretty smooth landing, but I didn't know what to expect, and apparently we're going way fast. We're going to slow it down just a little bit there. Just ignore the speedometer. It's totally inaccurate, so we're going to fly. And how's this landing? That's looking pretty smooth right there. Oh, a little overshot, and I just opened the doors accidentally. Stay upright. Don't get damaged. And now we got to come to a stop. Stop. Stop with my big old truck. Sand, slow me down, Sand. So even with a big old truck like that, we were able to stop before we got to the water. You would have to really brake late to actually need to use the water or have something crazy awful at braking. So let's go ahead and go back up, and we'll try something else once again. We'll go with a SBR4, and we're going to grab the hill climb one, and instead of like actually maintaining a reasonable speed and doing a smooth landing, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to go a little slow right here, because that way we have all the wheels on the ground when we accelerate, so we can go as fast as possible. When we get to the bottom, we're going to be going over 150 miles per hour, over 170, over 180. Basically, you could round up to almost 200 miles per hour for simplicity's sake. And the downforce on this thing actually made that landing look a lot smoother than it really was. And I was not braking that whole time, mind you. I was still holding the accelerator down, even though the engine was broken, 5 seconds ago, because I wanted to make sure I was going fast. So maybe I should try this with something that's fast but doesn't have the downforce. So we could either do the drag version of the Barstow or the drag version of the Moonhawk. I think the Moonhawk has a little bit higher of a top speed, though. So that's the one we're going to be using for this test. And we still got to slow down right here. And wait for it, and then go. Floor it, max speed, 150, 160, way faster than the SBR4, but we're topping out, so that's going to slow me down a bit. Still hit the end of the jump at about 10 miles per hour faster. I could let up on the accelerator, and that thing basically jumped the whole distance right there. I couldn't even slow down if I wanted to because there was no room. The car never really touched the ground with its wheels because it was such a hard impact. It just kind of bounced away. And, yeah, you can do it fast and ruin your car, but I think it's a lot more fun doing those smooth ones. It just looks so clean and beautiful. So let's go ahead and do something with just a basic car again. So I was going to go real fancy. I'm going to stick with basic. We're going to get just the 1.5 ZXi. That is the default Corvette. And the speed we're going to try for is, once again, anywhere between 110 to 120 is my happy place. Anything more or less, and the jump will probably not be smooth. So now we're over 120. I'm just going to let it coast. A little bit of brake in there. A little bit more brake because I was going a little fast. And there we go. Not bad. Got some radiator damage, but we were able to continue driving. So we're braking right at the end of this. See if we could stop beforehand. Whoops. Not in that situation. We came in way too crooked. And that actually immobilized the car. I was hoping it would still drive because it looked like most of the damage was behind where the engine is. Since it's only front wheel drive, you only need to care about maybe this part of the car, but somehow it's not driving anymore. So back up, try another car. How about we do a Burnside? And this, we'll go with the lead sled. And this is actually a good place for this car because this car has the worst turning radius out of basically every stock car in the game. But we don't need to be able to steer. We just go in a straight line. It's the perfect situation to use this car. How about this time we see what happens if we go too slow? We've seen too fast. So what if we only hit the jump at like 90 miles per hour? So 88, that's about 90. You bounce, and then you get some air time. And with this car, actually, we can keep driving. Go all the way to the 500 mark and slam on our brakes like we were trying to do the first time. So right there, brakes on. And there's the sand really slowing you down good there. Car is a little bit on fire. That's not going to stop it though. What we could do is we could teleport it back up and oh, it didn't keep the fire. And it spun the car around. I was hoping we would have a car that was on fire. We could do the jump with a car on fire, but that's not going to happen apparently. So let's go ahead and do one more jump with an ETK I-Series. We're going to make this one as smooth as possible. And then I think that will be it for this video. Well, actually, I just had a really dumb idea. This is probably not going to work at all, but we're going to try it anyways. We're going to get the ETK I-Series, and then we're also going to pull up the drag Moonhawk once again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this car behind that car. I'm going to start off with the I-Series, and then I'm going to try to fly over it with the Moonhawk. Now, since the ramp is the same height, I don't think it'll really actually fly over it. It'll probably just collide into it, but we're going to try it anyways. So line it up right behind it. We'll reset it so it's a fresh car because I damaged it a bit. So we're going to accelerate with this, make sure it's pretty straight, make sure I slow down there, and then go to Moonhawk, and we start accelerating with this thing immediately. Then we got to slam on the brakes, try to make that as smooth as we can. That was a little bit slower than it could have been because of that air time. And we got some ground to make up here. Come on. Oh, I'm topping out. It was so close. We can make this happen. Over the car, yes. Ha ha. It wasn't quite the way I wanted it to go because I was hoping I would fly over it in like real close quarters, but we did fly over it. So I gotta try this one more time with a little bit better timing, and it could go really well. So we'll just accelerate this a little bit and then just let it coast. From that point on, let it coast. Go to the Moonhawk. And actually, it's going to be a little bit slower this time, so we go nice and slow right here. We really have the chance to take our time and then floor it. We're going to gain on them pretty fast. This is looking good. This is looking good. This is right where I wanted it to be. I couldn't have done it much better than that. We're going to start accelerating this car just a little bit to try to get it to move out of the way. Come on. Over. 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 No, that's into it. That's into it. Wait, wait, wait. It was so close. That was awesome. That was awesome. The impact was so light, though. Like, I would have expected a lot more damage because of how fast the Moonhawk was going. But I guess because they were in the air, even though there was like a probably 60-mile-per-hour difference between the two vehicles, it didn't do that much damage. Anyways, though, I think that will do it for this map. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.